very good evening and a warm welcome to UBC News Tonight on this 29th day of August 2021. Well, before we get into our news bulletin for this evening, let's first take a look at tonight's headlines. And in tonight's headlines, President Museveni, Ethiopia's Prime Minister in bilateral meetings. UPDF Engineering Brigade willing to undertake construction contracts. And Egypt rolls out locally produced Sinovac vaccine. And in sports, Uganda Cranes lose to Ethiopia by 1-2 goals in a friendly match. Welcome once again to UBC News Tonight on this 29th day of August 2021. I'm Lauryn Kazimoto and Mugalu Mohammed on sign language. Now we start off with our first headlining story for this evening. President Yoweri Museveni has met and held a bilateral meeting with the Prime Minister of the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia, Abiy Ahmed Ali, who is in Uganda on a one-day working visit. Now the two leaders discussed various issues and agreed to further strengthen cooperation in bilateral, regional and international issues of common interest. Ethiopia and Uganda have been cooperating in various peace processes in the region. Now the meeting was attended by the Ethiopian Minister, Head of Prosperity Meeting, Main Office, His Excellency Binaf Adwalem, the State Minister for Foreign Affairs of Ethiopia, His Excellency Redwan Hussein, and His Excellency Lemsahei Mesret. And the meeting was also attended by Uganda's Minister for Foreign Affairs, General JJ Odong, and Uganda's ambassador to Ethiopia and Uganda's permanent representative to the African Union, Rebecca Muge Otengo. All right, now the Chief of Defence Forces, General Wilson Mbadi, has appreciated President Yoweri Museveni for enabling the army to implement some of the government's projects. Mbadi says the move will save government billions of cash through cheap labour and quality output. He was commissioning structures constructed by the army at a single military school in Nakaseke district.
Over the years, the country and police have been a laughingstock by many due to its poor residential houses. However, this trend is soon belonging to the past as the Army Engineering Brigade intensifies its construction projects. The Chief of Defence Forces, General Wilson Mbadi, was commissioning army quarters at Single Military School in Nakaseke district.
Under phase 1, 54 houses for non-commissioned officers were completed. 8 dormitories which can accommodate a battalion, including the sanitation facilities, were also completed. We constructed an armory, a logistics store, a signal center, a fuel pump, and a VIP mess.
This is a leap forward from Mama Ingia Pole to these good-looking residential structures for the top army officers.
And as we are aware that a good infrastructure creates form of a city and enables life to go on, and life goes on well. It's also believed that investment in infrastructure is a long-term requirement for the growth and long-term factor that will make growth sustainable.
The army is equally confident that the environment is now safe as they will no longer infringe on grass and pasture.
And these modern structures now means no more environmental degradation to cut grass, as you have been seeing all over Mama Ingia Pole. But now this one, it has stopped, so meaning no environmental degradation. To build 1,000 manyatas, it means weather cannot now affect us or affect our training.
Each structure was built at less than 150 million shilling. This initiative is likely to save government a lot of money. Projects like roads, schools and medical facility construction across the country can now be undertaken by the Forces Engineering Brigade.
Infrastructure development using direct labor, our own. We have engineers work hapa. Nadhani mlisikia hata His Excellency the President anasema hata hii watu yenye wanajenga mashule, hospitali pia waanze kutumia sisi. Industrial parks tuna kazi nyingi sana. Kwa hivyo wakakupatia kazi, hapana chezea, hapana fanya nini?
This development comes in at a time when the president is equally concerned about the country's overrated and delayed construction projects. Robert Onyango, UBC News.
The Minister of State for Works, Musa Echweru, has criticized Omega Construction Company for a delayed bridge construction project. Omega was contracted to construct SEZIBWA Bridge connecting Nakasongola to Kayunga district, but there is no sign to show that they are about to complete the work. This is after Nakasongola constituency Member of Parliament Noah Mutebi appealed to the minister to visit the area and see for himself the delayed work.
Omega Construction Company undertook to construct a bridge across the SEZIBWA River between Nakasongola and Kayunga district early 2019. Construction was supposed to take only 18 months and be handed over by June 2020, but a year after, nothing shows that the bridge is nearing completion.
We are embarrassed, Honourable Minister, that Omega was given this contract in 2019, early 2019, and the contract period was to take only 18 months. I want to give you information, Honourable Minister, that the 18 months elapsed some time back, and they asked for extension of 6 months. Minister was merciful enough. They gave them the extension of 6 months. They also the 6 months also elapsed, and of course they asked for another extension. Also was given, but up to today the bridge is nowhere to be seen.
The Minister of State for Works, Musa Echweru, has been to Nakasongola district to check on the progress of the bridge construction. Echweru had no kind words regarding the delay to complete the works by Omega Construction Company. He has now given the company a deadline of only 2 months to have completed the work.
We have agreed, Madam, that in 2 months' time this culvert will be standing. And I want that 2 months to be 2 months. You have already paid these people a lot of money. Don't add any shilling to this group until work is seen. Yes. If I find you have added money, I will tell Nakalema to run with you. She will be driving while you are running on foot.
Currently, communities are relying on the use of boats to cross over the river. The minister advised the Omega Construction Company engineer in charge of the bridge, Lilian Nabisere, to reaffirm their commitment to complete the construction works without fail.
We know you're not happy with us, so we are pledging that in the 2 months that I've given, we'll put up the box culvert. And after the box culvert is in place, it is as good as finished. We'll just be doing the drainage for the road.
The minister also pledges to lobby for the tarmacking of the Zeroway Chichusa Bamgolode Nakasongola Road. Story compiled by Salungo Fred Kasibanti for UBC News.
Teachers across the country have been hardest hit by the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, as government ponders on how to safely open schools without losing the gains achieved, many teachers decided to seek new means of survival. We have the details.
Teachers across the country are among those affected by the COVID-19 pandemic and associated lockdown effects. Teachers were among the first group to be sent home in March 2020 when the country took measures aimed at nipping the spread of the virus in the bud. While teachers in urban areas, especially Kampala and Wachiso, managed to stay in active employment by conducting online classes, this hasn't been the case with teachers in rural Uganda. Months into the lockdown and with no hope of opening schools soon, Swadik Mukulia, a South Sudanese refugee, and Zainabu Chandru, who are teachers at Mengo Primary School in Yumbe district, decided to make good use of the land allocated to them at the settlement. Mukulia interested fellow teachers about the ongoing livelihood project rolled out by ADRA Uganda. These have so far planted the Nerika rice variety on 13 acres.
We sat down with my fellow teachers and we come up with this project of rice growing.
Because the little money which we have got from our salary is not help us to do some other works.
Swadik also called upon fellow teachers affected by the lockdown to stop wallowing about the current condition, but rather venture into productive activities.
Schools will be opened. It will get us when we have put something aside, which will help us better than the teachers who are staying at home, doing nothing, and sometimes even others. There are some teachers who are doing things which are not needed. I expect like 10 tons, and these 10 tons, if we shall sell them, approximately we shall get like 35 million or 40.
William Asio is the Assistant Settlement Commandant from the Office of the Prime Minister at Bidibidi Settlement, and he says farming activities have helped refugees on their food rations.
Funding is always very small, yet the population we have is big. For example, Bidibidi Refugee Settlement is hosting over 235,000 refugees. Zone 3 alone has about 52,000.
Sambu Sinje, who is the project coordinator working with ADRA Uganda, says priority was given to those affected by the COVID-19 pandemic.
The groups that have been supported with the agriculture seeds have managed to establish the gardens. These gardens will be able to provide food for the communities. As you well know that most of the ratios have been cut down by 60%. So by supporting these groups with seeds and the agriculture tools, they are able to supplement the food ratios at home.
The Program for Education Advocacy and Child Education is a 14-month livelihood project promoted by the Adventist Relief Agency in Uganda that puts emphasis on inclusive education, livelihood, empowerment, and psychosocial support.
This is a pilot program, but we have already thought about coming up with another 3-year program for supporting the vulnerable young people, especially the South Sudanese refugees, but also the host community. Because according to the government of Uganda and Office of the Prime Minister, we have what we call REHOP. REHOP is a Refugee and Host Community Empowerment Program, which connotates and suggests that 30% of the support from the partners must go towards supporting the host communities, because this influx also increases the vulnerability of the host community and leave them more poor and challenged.
Ngabo Amon, reporting for UBC TV.
Now, the State Minister for Higher Education, Dr. John Chrysostom Muyingo, has asked teachers, parents and learners to remain calm as government prepares to reopen schools. Now, the minister says the Ministry of Education is now waiting for the Ministry of Health and scientists to give the guidelines.
Teachers across the country have been commended for supporting the vaccination exercise against COVID-19. Vaccination of teachers against COVID-19 kicked off in Kampala and other areas a few days ago, and over 550,000 teachers and learners are expected to be vaccinated. The State Minister for Higher Education, Dr. John Muhingo, says the Ministry of Education and Sports will continue consulting the Ministry of Health and Science on the progress of the vaccination of teachers. Muhingo appealed to teachers, non-teaching staff, parents and learners to remain calm and comply to all SOPs and guidance by the Ministry of Health and scientists.
If you want to be allowed back to school, you need to have a vaccination certificate, and you must have been vaccinated. I would like to remind you and call upon you to take this exercise very seriously. The Ministry of Health has been kind enough to extend the service, medical services to some of our schools. Please take advantage of that arrangement and have all of you, all the teachers vaccinated.
Mr. Muhingo was addressing communities of Kamira Sub-County in Wero District and beneficiaries of Wamunanika Constituency Education Fund. Muhingo encouraged the youth to support emyoga and nuts to take advantage of the rainy season to plant some crops to guard them against hunger.
Kisoboka nawe kwampuliriza kwennyabo bakola kyo ofana n'okya sebo kulabira bulabizi kunajjita kyakoze kiririzeemu okwekirizaamu okwo kutuwa amaanyi.
The function was attended by community members who commended Dr. John Muhingo for promoting education in their area.
Dr. Jesse Muhingo for paying my school fees, for putting a strong hand towards my studies. I thank you, sir, for that good heart.
These girls who are getting pregnant in early stages, but at least there has been a reduction due to the fact that you gave us bursaries and we went back to school.
Wabudewo dokita gwe tulina mu ssaza yalimu ebiseera ebyo. Dokita Muhingo bamuggyeko ne bateekako nti kubaaziika nnyo. Mulaba ennonda ye bamunanika bweri.
UBC News Tonight takes a very short break, but we'll return with more stories. Don't move an inch.
My home, I smile when I think of you, Uganda. My home. My home, I dance when I look at you, Uganda. My home, oh my Uganda.
I know with you I'll always stay forever. I know, because I feel that we belong together. My home, under the sun so bright, under the moon at night, on my heart. Mommy, oh my Uganda.
Hey mama,
My Uganda.
oh,
My Uganda.
oh,
My Uganda. My Uganda. Nikukunda. My Uganda. Amari alemira. My Uganda.
nyowe nikugonza.
My Uganda.
Amina ngojo, Amina ngojo.
At MTN, we look forward to starting another exciting journey together to grow our home, Uganda.
Hey there, are you interested in doing a course in the computing field? Well, we have you covered. Mara, University of Science and Technology, under the Faculty of Computing and Informatics, offers undergraduate programs in Bachelor of Information Technology, Bachelor of Computer Science, and Bachelor of Science and Software Engineering. Master's programs in Information Systems, Health Information Technology, and Business Informatics. Postgraduate diplomas in Information Systems, Health Information Technology, and Business Informatics. We also offer a PhD in Computing by Research. For more information, reach us on the contact details below or visit our website fci.mass.ac.ug. For applications, visit our online platform and apply now.
Echa COVID-19 kijja kuggwa only if we stay at home, observe physical distancing, wear masks properly, sanitize or wash our hands with soap and water regularly, or get vaccinated now.
5, 5 times the winning, yeah. 5 times the happiness, yeah. 5 times the luckiness, yeah. 5 for 5, oh yeah. It's 5 for 5. 5 for 5, 5 times the money, yeah. 5 times the shopping, yeah. 5 times the prizes, yeah. 5 for 5, oh yeah. It's 5 for 5. 5 for 5.
Win 100,000 Uganda shillings weekly in the 5 for 5 jackpot. Simply download the Center mobile app. Click Center on the go to open your account online. Transact 5 times or more using Center mobile, Center Visa, and Center agent to stand a chance to win. The more you transact, the higher your chances of winning. So, participate in the 5 for 5 jackpot and win millions in daily and weekly prizes. The 5 for 5 jackpot is brought to you by Centenary Bank. Our bank. Centenary Bank is regulated by the Bank of Uganda. Customer deposits are protected by the Deposit Protection Fund.
Uganda, today is a great day to work towards your dreams. Dial *185 *7# and select savings to save as low as 500 Ugandan shillings on regular savings or 250,000 Ugandan shillings for fixed deposits. Airtel Money Super Saver is powered by KCB Bank Uganda. Airtel Money, instant, secure, borderless. T's and C's apply.
Welcome back from that break. And now into some business news this evening. Despite having lower debt than some other African countries, Uganda's debt in 2020 crept past the 50% debt to GDP ratio mark. Foreseeing economic crises in the near future, civil society is urging government to implement various defensive strategies to curb the peaking debt. Now, this was at the African Conference on Debt and Development held at Hotel Africana in Kampala. Take a look.
The African Conference on Debt, hosted by Uganda Debt Network, brought together political, technical and civic leaders from Africa to deliberate and agree commitments that safeguard the macroeconomic sustainability of the continent.
The cost of PPPs, the contingent liabilities that come with it, should be understood further if we are going to discuss debt, because they are guarantees government make for such projects and they come at a cost. There is a new animal taking place in our region of Albertine. The production sharing agreement, yes, it's a semblance of a direct foreign investment, but it is a recoverable cost.
Experts noted that Uganda has to check its borrowing appetite while refining domestic value, since the economy greatly hinges on the success of its neighbors with whom it transacts with.
We don't know where the politics of Kenya is headed. That is our first biggest trading partner where we export. We also have, besides the gold that goes to UAE and maybe human beings, Kenya is our big trading partner. The other second trading partner is the South Sudan. As you have all noticed, trucks can no longer go there. So what does that mean to an investor? What does that mean to somebody who lent Uganda to build roads on the assumption that we are going to boost our production and export to the region?
In spite of the risky debt position, Uganda took on a credible medium-term program early this year, supported by the International Monetary Fund, in a bid to put downward pressure on debt. The program lies on 3 pillars, which are growth-friendly fiscal consolidation, high-quality spending, and strong governance.
The IMF has made available additional resources to boost liquidity of its members, the most recent of which is the global SDR allocation of 650 billion that was made available on August 23. It is important that these resources are used to boost international reserves and, where prudent and necessary, for budget support within the country's legal framework in respect of medium-term development plans and with utmost transparency.
As of December 2020, Uganda's total public debt hit a record of 65.82 trillion shillings, up from 49 trillion in 2019, with a 16.82 trillion increment due to increased government borrowing. Wadulo Makanold, UBC News in Kampala.
Now, education experts want a reduction in internet data prices to make it more accessible and user-friendly. They say a reduction on the pricing of data will enable them teach properly using Zoom and other internet platforms. Now, this was in an interview with the director Saipali Institute of Technology and Management, Amit Silvastava. Take a look.
In the lower quartile, sometimes it's called the...
Teaching via Zoom on a daily basis is an expensive affair and requires reasonably priced internet services. In Uganda, like the rest of the world, many people have resorted to use of internet since schools are closed as a prevention measure against COVID-19 infection.
About online learning or e-learning, it is actually a very good platform. To me, I have found that it is a very good platform that I think each and every school and then teachers should ever think of adopting.
It is this coronavirus situation that has endeared many institutions like Saipali Institute of Technology and Management to develop innovations like integrated school management system for administration work online, virtual classes and online exams. This e-learning system is cheaper and easily adaptable, which will help education sector during and after COVID-19 pandemic because it's a new way of digitalizing the education.
It helps the schools to manage administrative work digitally, right from admission up to report generating. Then we have also with it e-learning system where the students they can attend the online classes, they can attend the virtual classes where they can see their teacher virtually.
However, the director, Saipali Institute of Technology and Management, Amit Silvastava says, this can only work well if government reduces the pricing rates of data for internet
classes, but still lots needs to be done.
Most parents cannot afford data for their students because if you're to access our system or to join online classes or to join any online platform, you need to be having data as in a system.
Remember that we are moving forward. You know, the world is getting digitalized and teachers have to learn some of these computer skills in order to be a competent teacher of all seasons. You do not have to be a teacher only when certain seasons are favorable. Now, like right now, it is really, really very necessary.
For creating job, you need to have skills. And that's where you have to think now, how I can get the skill in field of IT and technology.
Story compiled by Nelson Akatuhurira for UBC News.
And into international news, Egypt this week began rolling out its first locally produced COVID-19 vaccines in collaboration with Chinese drug maker Sinovac, aiming to bolster its ongoing vaccination drive with greater supply. Now, the jab is called VACCINATIONS, which carries the name of the two manufacturers that collaborated in the production of the inoculation, as China has been supporting Egypt with a team of scientists to fully transfer the vaccine production technology. After getting the green light from the Egyptian Drug Authority on the 23rd of August, the VACCINATIONS COVID-19 vaccine is officially available this week in Egypt, as health ministry officials also announced the production of the first 1 million doses. Egyptians across the nation showed confidence in receiving the inoculation as the vaccination campaign is officially underway. I wasn't concerned at all. I know a lot of people who have taken the Chinese vaccine and the reputation of the vaccine here is good. The government is widely publicizing this new vaccine, which shows its confidence in it. These millions of vaccine produced locally will help us go back to the normal life we know of, said Wail Abdel Alim, a recipient of the VACCINATIONS vaccine.
Keep your eyes on the prize, eyes on the prize, eyes on the dream, eyes on the dream, eyes on the scene, eyes on the scene, eyes on the schemes. You gon' need eyes behind your back to see who's got your back. As a matter of fact, maybe want your own back. Who you looking at? Who's looking at you? Blinded by love, maybe you need a better view. All eyes on you. All eyes on you. These eyes on you. These eyes on you. World's eyes on you. World's eyes on you. So what you gonna do? So what you gonna do?
Readjust your vision for an all-new season of Big Brother Naija on GoTV. Rated 18. Proudly sponsored by Abeg and associate sponsor Patricia.
And now into sports. Ethiopia has beaten Uganda Cranes in an international friendly at Bahir Dar Stadium this Sunday in Micho's first game in charge. Yunus Sentamu's long-range strike was not enough as Micho's reign as Uganda Cranes coach started on a low note. Ethiopia took the lead through Nasir Abubakar before Abel Yeleo doubled the lead in the 54th minute. Uganda Cranes were on the back foot for the best part of the game as the hosts controlled proceedings. Uganda Cranes had a late chance to level matters, but Joseph Ochaya was denied the post from the free kick. The Uganda Cranes face Harambee Stars away in Kenya on the 2nd of September before hosting Mali at Chitende 4 days later. It is the first loss for the Cranes against Ethiopia since 1988 CECAFA. Ethiopia, who earlier played out a goalless draw with Sierra Leone earlier, visit Ghana on the 3rd of September and visit Zimbabwe in World Cup qualifiers. And with that, we come to the end of this edition of UBC News Tonight, but do join us for our second edition at 10 p.m. with me, Lauryn Kazimoto, and Muhammad Mugalu. We'll see you then.
Echa COVID-19 chijja kugwa only if we stay at home, observe physical distancing, wear masks properly, sanitize or wash our hands with soap and water regularly, or get vaccinated now.
Up next on UBC, brought to you by
Keep the lights on. Use Airtel Money to pay for all your Yaka bills conveniently. Open the My Airtel app to buy Yaka units. Airtel Money. Simple, secure, borderless.
Latif is one of the most hardworking fashion designers we have in this country. In fact, he actually broke the record of one of the fastest designers. He's as quick as this. His work has been manifested everywhere. You've heard about him, you've read about him, you've seen him